So the question for today's video is, can you be too old for Lego? So this morning the Yodel guy turned up and he had this big box and he said to me, "Here you go, mate. What's in this box though? Because it's quite big but seems kind of light." And so I looked at it, I said, "Oh, that's probably some Lego." And he kind of looked at me strangely and I said, "Oh, you know, the new James Bond DB5 Lego." And he looked at me again and said, "Are you a bit old for Lego?" So it kind of got me thinking. I thought I'd just do a little video on it. I'd be interested to get your comments down below if you think you are not too old, or you can or can never be too old for Lego maybe, or maybe there's an age limit or what have you. So just to kind of, I guess, add some rationale for kind of the recent purchase, and I may, if you guys are interested, I may do time-lapse build or something. I'm not sure if that's of interest to you guys, but for a while I wanted to get the Saturn V Apollo rocket. I admit freely these Lego pieces are expensive, but there's like loads of parts, right? I mean, the Saturn V5 is just under 2,000 parts, right? And the new DB5 is just over 10,000 pieces. So there's a lot of Lego in there. But I guess a quick plug for one of my other kind of things that I do. I'll put a link in the description. So I've got a website that I don't do too much on right now, really, to be honest, just so busy with other projects. And there's a YouTube channel for it as well called Subliminal Hacking. And I have a couple of affiliate products on there that I've kind of done their training both online and in person, and so obviously I recommend it because I think it's really good. So one of them is a Pickpocket online training course, another one is a hypnosis online training course, and when people buy those I get a small affiliate payment for them. So I've had quite a few of those affiliate payments recently, and when the DB5 got released, I was like, oh man, that's so good, but it's so expensive. I looked in my PayPal account and seen that obviously I'd had those affiliate payments, and using the old man maths, I was like, well, that's kind of free money, right? Because, you know, through affiliate stuff, I didn't have to actively do anything. It's just like a byproduct of people enjoying learning something new. And I thought, I'm going to treat myself to those things. And I also got 3% off through Quidco. I'll put a link for Quidco in there as well if you want to sign up. And also, if you are interested in some of the other topics that I mentioned, leave that in the comments and I can talk a bit more about some of the other channels and other things I do of interest. So that sets the scene. That's how I've decided to spend that money on the Lego, because like I said, it's not cheap. And that kind of brings me on initially to my thoughts why I think you can never be too old for Lego. So there's a big kind of variance in price with Lego. So I think the cheapest kits I've ever seen, well, I guess the cheapest thing is a minifigure, right? So a minifigure in the UK is about £2.50. And then they have some massive Lego, like the Death Star. I think that's like £500. I'm not sure if that's the most expensive one, but it's up there, right? They've got some big Lego. So, of course, we're all going to have different opinion on how much money you spend on your kids or whatever, Christmas and birthdays. But that's a lot of money. Like, if you were to buy that Death Star, I mean, even to buy one of these, like £120, I think it is. It's a lot of money. For a singular item, and obviously depending on the age of your kids, they may or may not enjoy building. Like my kids, they love building their Lego, but then they like to make their own things, right? Which I used to do that as well. I love, you know, taking all sorts of things apart and trying to make something else. I remember trying to build an Airwolf replica out of Lego when I was a kid with all my space Lego and everything. So, and that's part of what I think is so great about Lego is it sparks your imagination. And I think as we get older, we kind of give ourselves less permission to utilize that imagination and do more creative things. Now, if you're into YouTube and stuff like that, then maybe you are, you know, a creative person because you enjoy this medium and trying to think about things. Now, I equally like, so I like to build these models, put them in a cabinet, and appreciate, I guess, what they look like and also the design quality that went into it. So I don't want to take these apart and build them into something else. I like them as they are, but obviously a kid's going to take these apart and do all sorts of different things. And I know there's lots of really smart Lego master builders, I guess, if you're interested in the Lego movies, they buy these, they build them, then they take it apart and put them into, you know, categories of different boxes and make completely new things out of their mind, which is amazing. And I don't want to kind of get too hung up on this imagination and learning and development thing, but you know, we know that as we get older, failure to kind of utilize our brains effectively and solve puzzles and really kind of flex the muscle that is our brain, you know, we suffer from dementia and other sort of things like this. And obviously some of these things are hereditary and things, and these things just happen, but there are things that we can do to kind of minimize that. And I think things like building Lego and being creative and thinking and constructing things, you know, are really good and help with that. And also, I remember when I was a kid, my dad and my granddad using my Lego to build a mock-up of a fireplace they were going to build, like with real bricks, right? So there's lots of things that can be done, but I don't think you can be too old for Lego, because I think regardless of your age range, you get something different from it. So just, I guess, speaking from experience over the recent years, so I like F1, and when they brought out the F1 Technics cars, I managed to get one of those in the sale, and I really love the fact that, I guess, how accurate it is, you know, to a real thing with moving pistons and, you know, moving shifters, and how obviously you can control the steering wheel and it all moves, everything. So it helps you get an understanding for real mechanical engineering. I remember as a kid, I used to love, had a couple of Technic Lego pieces, and I loved building those and trying to work out how different things worked. And I had a pump system for a jack. What was it? No, it was I think a trailer that you'd pump it and it would lift the bed up to kind of dump the sand out or whatever. And I used to love building other things with that pump to try and understand how things work and how I could utilize that kind of piston to do stuff. And now, obviously, when you look at some of these Lego items, so they say, you know, 4 to 8 or 10 plus or 14 plus or whatever it may be, that's just like a minimum recommended, right? So it obviously depends on the individual, and I think it's really to cover Lego's arse. They don't want some 2-year-old grabbing hold of a, you know, £10,000 piece and swallowing them all, because that's going to open them up for issues, right? So, but I think there's so much enjoyment to get out of Lego, appreciating the effort that people have gone into to replicate something in a buildable, scalable form that is, you know, a replica of something in real life. So I don't think you can be too old for Lego, and I think, to be perfectly honest with you, as you get older, you need to be older and have a job to be able to afford some of this kick-ass Lego, right? That, you know, when I was 13, 14, 15, washing cars and doing paper rounds, there's no way I could ever dream of buying a Lego like this, right? And I would never expect my parents to be able to afford to buy that sort of thing for me either. So I think that the fact that I enjoy this Lego, I can build it. So like recently I built the Tron Lego, which is, again, a lot of the Lego idea stuff is what I like. If I had unlimited storage and funds, there's so many of those ideas, Lego things that I'd like to get, the camper van and the Beetle and all these sort of things, but I have built another one of these cabinets actually to try and store some more stuff in, so we'll see. But yeah, so I built the Tron Lego. My son helped out a little bit with that, as well as we did the Women of NASA together as well. So I enjoy it. My son and my daughter both enjoy building that as well. My daughter's much younger, so she's not as good at Lego, but really enjoys, you know, playing with the bricks and everything. And I have no doubt that when I start to build these other Legos, that they'll either help me with that, or we'll take some modules apart and rebuild them so they can enjoy the experience as well. So I think Lego really is for everyone, and I think if you do think, in my opinion, that someone's too old for Lego, what you've done is denied yourself permission to be creative and imaginative. And I think that's something that, as we grow up, society tells us we should act in a certain way, and that doesn't mean I think people should be disrespectful to people and be immature and be thugs or anything. But I think there's nothing wrong with being creative and learning and trying to, somewhat keep that childhood freedom alive in ourselves. So I don't think you can ever be too old for Lego. Maybe you think differently, and that's fine, because we're all allowed to have our own opinions. But please leave comments. Do you think there is an age limit for Lego? Do you think you can be too old, or is it never? Are you never too old for Lego? Let me know what you think. Oh, and also, if you do want me to do a time lapse of me building these and adding them on the channel, put that down there as well. And if people are interested, then I'll probably do it. Thanks for watching this video. A thumbs up would be really appreciated. If you're interested in other geek type videos, please consider subscribing to Spectrum Geeks. Why not also follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. And before you leave, why don't you check out one of these other videos that may be of interest. Thanks again for watching.